where's our?
Bill, ready? He's right, he's virtual.
It's virtual tonight. Okay. So virtual Bill, are you ready? Okay, then we'll call this meeting to order at 1900 hours. And any changes or adjustments to the agenda?
Not for me.
None. Okay, so we'll adopt the agenda as presented. The minutes of the previous meetings. We had two.
I would move that we accept the meeting from January 10th and the special meeting from February 2nd.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. All right, 452, update and review.
That's just that it's here. It's still got some work to do. Just us putting equipment on it, a few mounting of things, the striping and decals, but it's out in the parking lot if you guys want to tour it at all.
Okay,
On the way home,
Yep.
on the way out.
on the way out, yes,
It looked beautiful.
yes, I agree. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I think I need that in my driveway.
Is there an issue that the minutes said draft on
They do. No, we can
Oh,
change,
okay.
we can change that.
it? Okay.
They're draft until you.
Okay, all right, any questions about the 452 before we move on? All right, then we'll go to informational items, financial, accounts payable and payroll. Any questions or comments about payroll or accounts payable?
I was wondering about the color code. I just saw that again this afternoon. Forgot to ask you the other day
On
on the payroll.
the color code.
Yeah, at least mine has a color code on it.
That color is what we use, it's so when we're adding things up, we can differentiate from regular pay, sick pay, overtime pay, that's all that is up.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike. Yep.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, so that brings us down to, let me get back to my agenda. Okay, so transport waivers. Do I have any motions on the transport waivers?
I'll make a motion that we allow all the transport waivers to be waived.
You do what? I'm sorry.
You're gonna waive all?
Waive all 5 of them?
all five.
I'll second that.
Okay, any questions about that? Obviously not. Okay, all in favor? Aye. All right, test kit, COVID test kit purchases, do business.
So we purchased some test kits and it was emergent because we were running out. We have to have them to keep the Recruit Academy going. And so we just need you to do a motion to approve the emergency purchase for us. Have any questions about cost or kits, or we have to test every recruit daily? And then obviously we're testing here as needed. So we're not testing the daily firefighters every day. We're doing it when symptoms occur and then to make sure they are free before they come back to work after that.
Okay, so this is for 700 kits? Is that what I'm reading here?
I believe so.
Yes, okay. And card process, oh, okay, good. All right, so I'll make a motion. We approve the purchase authorization for 700 test kits, COVID-19 test kits,
And just make sure we have emergency
Emergency.
purchase.
as an emergency purchase.
Second it.
Okay. Comments, questions? All in favor? Aye. So that brings us back to collective bargaining agreement. Oh, yes.
So as you saw in your ad issue, we came to an agreement on both the firefighter officer CBA and the battalion CBA. So you have both of those. The local has ratified both. So it's my recommendation that we also ratify both contracts. And we briefed you on it and I left a synopsis in the ad issue. So unless there's any questions.
All right, so this is huge. So are there any questions, concerns about either of the contracts?
I do not have any questions.
Either.
Excellent. Boy, am I glad to hear that. So I will make a motion that we approve both contracts as presented.
I'll second that motion.
And any further discussion before we approve that? All in favor? Aye. Thank you. And I want to thank everybody that had a part in that contract negotiation.
And President Mansfield here, and I would definitely like to thank the bargaining team with the local.
Yes.
Did I wouldn't say outside the box, but we took a different tack in the past, and it took a lot of trust and collaboration, and I think we have a good product for both sides with a lot less pain.
Yes, and that's the feeling I got throughout the whole process, and I'm glad to hear that from both sides. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right,
So much of the next few items are related to that. Because of the CBA changes, we made some significant changes within the CBA, how we do overtime, how we do staffing, the staffing matrix, positions, position titles, position requirements. Anyways, all that we went through and identified 14 policies that needed to be updated to match the CBA, and I don't like having conflicting information, so I want to make sure we pass those tonight, so when the CBA is ratified tomorrow, that our policies will soon follow and match up with what the CBA says, and have mechanisms to do some of the things that are now in the CBA.
right,
So we can go through any of the 14 you want. Most of them are fairly minor changes. There's nothing that was huge in any of those 14.
right. So, did you, commissioners, get a chance to go through those?
Yes.
You made a comment about the contract being ratified tomorrow. Did we ratify it tonight?
Well, yes, but
Okay.
you know, as soon as you guys sign it, then I will get the local to sign it tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
And then
Okay,
it'll be,
that's what you.
yep, then it'll be
Okay.
all official.
Okay, I was just on the word.
Yeah.
So I just.
Yeah, we
wanted
gotta
to
get
be
all the signatures on the piece of
sure.
paper.
Right, okay. That's fine. I'm
Okay, so-
listening.
So let's take the 14 policies that, with the changes.
And I would just add that some of those 14 too are also to get parity to match up, to get the part-time program to fit in with the new CBA, to get the executive staff to fit in with the CBA. So there's some of that too.
Right, and I appreciate all the work that went into that also, because I'm sure that was a bunch of work. So, any questions about those 14 policies? No. Then I'll make a motion, we approve the policies as presented.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
So
Job descriptions.
Could we have those all listed in the minutes? All 14 of them?
yes, we can take those out of the ad issue and list
Even
them
though
by
we didn't
number.
say
Yeah.
it here, but so we all know which
Excellent.
14 we're talking.
Excellent idea, excellent idea. I appreciate your input there. Thank you. Good idea.
So the job descriptions, again, we had agreed to some changes of the requirements of the lieutenant. We added a requirement to the added pay increase that the local asked for to help us with our WSRB rating. Made some changes in the BC of some requirements, and then we added a new position in the CBA driver operator, again, to allow us some better organizational structure. And so we had to develop a new job description for that. So you'll see those the two updates in the new job description.
Excellent. And were there any questions about any of those? Okay, again, pretty straightforward. I know that also took a lot of work. I'll make a motion, I appreciate, yes, that we approve the job descriptions as presented. And also we'll list those in the minutes.
Second it.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Contract addendum for our maintenance guy.
So I've been working very hard to have our pay scales, keeping parity and keeping even so that everybody kind of knows where they fit in the organization and their pay is attached to that. So it's not, so it's more transparent, we'll say. And with that, we had given maintenance Jessup a smaller raise than the other specialists at the beginning of the year. And then the local's getting a little larger raise. And so to make him keep that same wage compression that we set, he would need a 2% increase. And so I'm recommending we change his incentive from a 10% to a 12% incentive for his past fire experience, which is about $100 a month.
Okay. Any questions about that? Okay, I'll make a motion. We approve that change to 12% for Mr. Jessup.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, and wage compression for the executive chiefs.
So same thing, we had set that the DCs were 25% above the BC and the chief 10% above that. And so with the CBA ratification, it would put those positions 1.5% behind. And so I'm recommending bringing those back up. I gave you guys some options for who and time frame, and that's up to you. For me, the important thing is to get it by the end of the year so that when the next round happens, it's that everybody's in the same position. Also gave a little chief. We're not ahead of our comparables in that arena, so it also fits within.
Okay, and so is there any reason we should wait till the end of the year to do this?
Only if the board would like to save money.
But to be fair, it should be done anyway.
I agree.
Okay, so I'll make a motion, we approve the salary adjustments for the executive chiefs and make that effective next pay period.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay, fund transfers.
So we'll be getting to an engine bid next, but I put the fund transfer first because I thought it made more sense to match up with the purchase off. But
You want the money there before we spend it?
yeah, we're going to have about 1.2 million in carryover from last year, from 21. That won't be finalized till we get closer to June, but I think Mike's fairly confident that it's in that area. So we would like to move 350,000, fairly small chunk, into our F-75 for apparatus. The engine bid that we're going to ask you is a little bit more expensive than we were planning a couple years ago. As everybody knows, price increases are going a little bit faster the last few months
Yes.
than expected. So we'd like to do that. Then you'll see another transfer for only 5,000 into some equipment. We have been able to buy foam and absorbent every other year, and we just kind of got off a little bit, had to do both this year. So we will overspend that, and then the purchase off for that foam. So that's the two fund transfers and the foam quote. And so you can,
All right.
those should probably all be three separate motions.
All right. So I will make a motion that we approve the transfer of 350,000 for the purchase of our engine apparatus. And any question?
No, I don't have questions.
Okay,
I'll second that motion.
okay, all in favor? Aye. And then next, I'll make a motion, we transfer $5,000 for the foam fund for whatever account that is,
3150.
3150, okay?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Does that go into that come from the same fund, right?
Yeah, from the cash carry.
F-70,
Yes.
okay. All right.
Okay, all in favor? Right, okay. And the third one was, refresh my memory.
Phone quote.
Yeah, three quotes for foam, and we're recommending MES. It was the best price we had of the quotes for 41,1094.
Oh, okay, so, all right, so we need a motion to approve the purchase.
Because it was outside of our line item
Got it,
until you put it in.
So I'll make a motion to approve the purchase authorization for the foam.
Second that.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Good. And that brings us to bid acceptance for the new engine.
Yeah, so I will just say we've had a committee working on this for almost a year now, and they put a lot of time into the design. They've evaluated a lot of different brands, companies, styles. They're recommending us getting the same company and the same basic style of engine. We're going to go to a clean cab style. Some other minor changes to make things more useful, some different cross-lay layout. Anything else, Jason, you can think of that's vastly different than what we have now? We're going to make sure we have a 35-foot ladder on it. Right now, we only have one, and that's the one replaced. So if we didn't put a 35 back on this one, we wouldn't have a 35-foot ladder.
Ooh.
And hope in the future is we will have more of those.
Yes.
Like you said, we got to put some money in there for equipment, some money, quite a bit of money for tax, some money for some of those things we're going to do here. They will put the wiring in, but we'll have to actually install the radios here. We'll just have some bracketing and loose equipment brackets that'll go on here because we want to be able to have it here and see where to put it. We may do the striping here if it's a better price. That's one of the things that we will work out when it comes time at pre-construction conference, because then we'll know the price here and the price there.
Mhm.
Let me go back up to the I'm gonna go down to the purchase offer to make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, and then just some money in for change orders. I've never seen an engine get built without a change order. You get back to the factory and you see the engineering designs, and because we see some very preliminary designs, and when they do the actual engineering designs, you're like, well, that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
So we have to get some changes. So just to put some money in for that, because we know we're gonna spend it instead of coming back to you, it's easier to make that decision when we're at the factory with the engineers.
Yes.
Anybody else have anything on that one? Okay, we're about 460 days out so we will take delivery 460 days from now. Ish.
Okay. And the price is set other than changes.
And so what you really have to decide, and we can do, we can afford either. Obviously you get, as you can see in there, a big discount for prepaying. We have a bond, so the bond is what protects our money. And so I'd recommend either prepaying 100% to save it all, or going down to 80% if you're more comfortable not paying it all up front, then the 80% would be my next recommendation. If you're more comfortable with that.
I don't have a problem with 100%. Okay, so
And again, the price is set once we lock that in.
Yeah.
other
So
than changes.
we made those changes. And there was a little bit of miscommunication between, I think, us and the salesman in the factory,
Of course.
And so they rebid it, not just changed. And when they rebid it, from the 2 weeks from the first bid to the rebid, the price increase just of what's going up in thing was $42,000.
Mhm.
So that's what 2 weeks did. So yeah, we're locked in. And that's what's important to get it now, because like I said, just in 2 weeks, I said, we basically told them,
Yes.
we don't want that bid, and we had to have a discussion about that, and they got it worked out. But yeah, just 2 weeks difference was $42,000 difference.
Yes.
And they don't foresee the cost of materials and stuff coming down.
I don't think so. Not in the next year.
You never know.
I mean, I'm not saying we should put this off.
Yeah.
By any means. It's just a question.
Yeah, my guess is that this is just a guess. I haven't seen prices drop ever. So what will happen is at some point the prices will
Level on.
level off or go down, and then there'll be a larger period of time where there's no increase. So you won't really see a decrease. It's normally like a 3 to 5%. We're getting 10% now, and then so at some point there might be a few years where it's 1 or 0% for a little longer before it hits back to 3 to 5. So I don't think we're ever going to see the price get better. Somebody's just going to get lucky where prices are flat. When I say lucky, they don't have to have this rush feel like we are.
Unless something happens. Anything can happen.
Yes.
However, looking at the state of the world, I don't see anything happening in the next year.
No, like I said, I don't see them coming down, and I don't see them coming down because once they got you, once they know you'll pay for it, and like I said, they're at that price, they're still 460 days out. I mean, they have plenty of work, and every company is like that.
Is that normal, or is that just the
It's not
situation
normal.
that we're in?
Is that-
Is it normally 460?
No, normally it's somewhere between 200 and 325, and so demand is actually going. So we're getting hit. Price increase, my guess, is double because demand is going up at the same time. Cost of equipment is going up. So some of that 40,000 is probably the cost of their supplies, but some of it is demand, right? As demand goes up, cost goes up.
And delivery times have been slowed down too significantly. That might have a lot to do with the length too.
Yeah, and there might be a backlog where things got a little chunked up from the beginning of COVID, and then they're trying to get it out. But yeah, normally it's not 460 days. Like I said, I don't think I've ever seen more than 360 before.
So the tax will all be paid to it this time?
No. We
No?
pay the tax when we license it.
Okay, the sales tax or whatever. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm putting it in there so you're approving it, because it won't change. The sales tax will be
Right.
based on what we paid for it. So
Right.
it's still based on this price. We just don't pay it until we
Do
get
we
it.
actually get the vehicle?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, we'll get your exempt plates and we can get that.
However, they are talking about raising our sales tax again. So there might be a slight increase in sales tax. Any other questions, discussion? So I will make a motion that we approve or accept the bid and pay 100% in order to save a ton of money.
I'll second that motion.
I was looking for the exact amount, but I didn't find it real quick.
813 is total when you add all the pieces in.
Okay, that's good. Good. Did I hear a second?
Yep, I second that.
Okay, and all in favor? Aye. All right, and holy smoke.
A lot of pages in a short time. I can hardly scroll that fast.
Yeah, so, district staff and work group comments, deputy chief, fire chief, so. Comments?
We'll start at the other end, Jason.
Added into your 600 pages, you got a rough draft of a fire stats report.
Mhm.
We've since, and I didn't update it this morning, I got another revision to it. Work in progress,
Yeah.
a lot of information in there. We're still working with fire stats to pare down and redesign some of those graphs, but we're going in the right direction. So we're getting starting to get the data in more timely, and now it's just a matter of figuring out the layout presentation that we want. And there's probably more stats. I'll tell you, there's more stats in this than we're gonna end up with monthly.
Right.
Some of these would be more of a annual thing to look at, or maybe even a quarterly, but we will pare down. The monthly should be quite a bit shorter and hopefully a little easier to digest than this, but in the right direction.
Excellent.
Like that.
I just want to say, the canopy that was approved a couple meetings ago for the Chevy 2500, affectionately known as Big Red, is in. So a week from Wednesday, that'll go in, and then that truck should be complete as a utility and staff vehicle. In addition, our training division, the State Patrol Fire Protection Bureau, has brought back their reimbursement funding. So we currently have 6 members that are in Recruit Academy, and it's not a large dollar amount, but the state will pay us $600 per member when their training is complete. And it's just money that we get as an agency because they're in training.
Excellent.
That's all I have at this time.
Can I go back to your report
Yeah.
for just a second? You had like 350 some responses for December. And so that's over 10 a day. Okay, so that's typical how we're going.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna track that to see if it increases and so forth like that as time goes on, to see if we need more resources here to help support that.
Yes.
Is that part of the plan?
That's
We're doing this?
part of it. We're tracking total calls, how many hours the units are out of service, how many mutual aid calls that we receive, or how many auto aid we give. And right now I should have added that I think in the month of December, we were 2 hours on the positive side, meaning we received roughly 2 hours more mutual aid indoor district than we gave out. But we're really close for how many mutual aid calls. It is so close that I would make the statement, no, whether it's us or Serper, couldn't make an argument one's being taken advantage over the other. That's pretty consistent. Sometimes we're an hour ahead, sometimes we're an hour behind. So really close on that. They call it net exchange. And we're going to track turnout times. Might take a while to get data on that, because it's not fair to just say 1 month. So in 6 months, it'll look different. 1 year, we'll get a clearer picture. You get 3 years worth of data, then you get a really good trend. But eventually this data will be used, and we'll use it with our standard of cover to measure our improvements, our delivery standards to see if we're meeting what we're telling the public we're trying to meet. And ultimately will come to the board, so you guys can make some decisions on staffing to increase or, staffing to try to accomplish quicker responses. So we're really at the beginning stages of this, so we don't have enough real solid data, but give us a year and I think it'll look better. 3 years will look really, really good. I think you guys will have some good information to make sound decisions off of stats.
Thank you. I'm sorry it took me a while to get through to that page, all this stuff there. So anyway,
500 pages down.
yeah, well, you're 584, I guess, is where I finally ended up at, so. Thank you. I'm sorry, but I wanted to ask that question,
Yeah,
so,
no,
yeah.
good question.
Yes.
I've got nothing. Budget, I put that budget update out there.
Got it?
First one. Not seeing any big changes yet, and Chief here entered part of it, so he got his hand in there, so we're trying to get that stuff turned over slowly and
Good.
surely.
Good, otherwise you can't go anywhere. Then you think I'm kidding too.
So that's what I was gonna say. Jason and Greg have definitely hit the ground running and are full speed, I would say. Thad and Mike are really hitting it pretty hard the last couple of weeks getting things. So that's been good to see on my part to give me some comfort that that'll be ready to go. And then I would, couple things I'd like to mention is that the COVID test kits before the ones you just purchased, but all the other ones we bought, we were able to get a grant and get all that cost. So we've just got the paperwork into that, so we should be getting that, in a couple of months usually it takes, but basically get all that reimbursed, which is probably about the same cost that we just spent on these. So we're looking for money wherever we can and getting reimbursed wherever we can find it. Hopefully everybody saw the new sign.
Yes.
Jerry did a fantastic job getting that in, and getting
Yes.
it lit up, and I think it definitely
It's impressive.
lets everybody know that we're here and doing good for the public. Other than that, we've did it three state of the department addresses and talking to everybody. I think that we're getting everybody on the same page. We have a lot of new things going on between the new CBA, the new training, Target Solutions, the new probationary testing and years. So we're moving forward with a lot of new projects, I guess. The second set of gear that you approved a year or so ago to get is finally just now getting all done and issued and implemented. So that will be starting, if it hasn't started already. BC has it. Okay.
Nope.
So yeah, so we're making a lot of changes and everybody's is handling it pretty well. And that's it for us, I think.
Commissioner comments?
Thank you.
I wanted to mention the sign too. I thought it looks very nice and it's lit up well at night, so you can see that too. So, and then I also, on the public response cards, I noticed that they're always usually have the team that's working with the individuals. I saw one of the card had 4 names, so that could have been somebody just going along, maybe a new person or something like that. But also one card had 5 names. So I was wondering if maybe 2 vehicles or so responded to that? Would that be a good assumption on my part?
Our staffing model, as you recall, with the changes to the part-time, there are days where we do end up having 5 people on the station, which would be a staff medic unit and an engine. And
Okay.
some calls, depending on what the call type is, you might have the engine show up with the medic unit.
Okay,
So if somebody's really on it or looks at the record, they can see, hey, we had the engine company and medic unit on the same call. That would represent the 5.
okay,
The 4, again, there are days with part-time staffing that we might have a 4th here because that was when they were scheduled to work and we weren't able to find another part-timer to work as a 5th. So in those days, instead of sending them home saying, we don't have enough people to staff an 8 car, we allow them to work that shift as a 4. It's not our preference, but we're one of our gifts to the part-time program for consistency was we're gonna put you on a regimented schedule, and it's really not fair to them to say, oh, we can't find a fifth, so you're off today because I couldn't find a fifth. So
Okay.
there will be days that we have 4, and then if you do see 5, it's because 2 already showed up.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You might see 5 more because with the data in the standard cover, we've been poking into why is the numbers like that? And so we've changed our response matrix, for the lack of a better term, we call them FRPs, so that we're more likely to get the closest unit there. So in the past, the engine wouldn't go, and that may have caused a station farther away to have to respond, even though there was people here. And I could go into a number of reasons that maybe they're only in the engine because of whatever, maybe they didn't get put into the computer right, but now that engine will get dispatched. So even if they are not in their medic unit, if they're closer, they're now gonna go, which wasn't the case prior. So we're trying to make changes in our dispatching to also improve our standard of cover and our response time in the service to the citizen. So all this is about getting the best service. Same thing with the 4th. Like I said, one of our goals as an organization is to get a dedicated unit, to get, which is 5 people, but to get to 5, there's going to be there's the transition period, and we're in that transition period just starting. And so there's some days there's going to be 4.
It's also the shadowing you have.
Yeah, and then we have medic students, and we have a couple people that we hired, like Colin Fletcher Collins, that he was shadowing but couldn't do anything yet. So he would go as an observer as we were getting him schooled up to be certified EMS. So yeah, there's a number of reasons it could be 4 or 5.
It sounds like the plan is being worked and very well. We're moving forward.
It's an intermediate plan. It's probably gonna take a few years to fully implement and be consistently at 5, but that is our goal. And we hope that, again, going back to the fire stats
All right.
and the standard of cover, that reflects in that, right? That those days we have better, quicker response times, covered more of our calls because of the staffing model.
Right. Okay. Thank you. That's all I had.
Nothing else for you? Okay, so as was alluded to, our packet this time was 611 pages long. And even though it was only 32 minutes till now, since we opened the meeting, we approved enough work to last a whole bunch of people a whole bunch of years. And I mean, there was a lot of work behind the scenes that went into our decisions tonight. And I really appreciate all the effort put in by everyone. And I want to thank you for that personally. There was a lot of work behind all this. And also, I appreciate all the work that goes into the cooperation between the chief and our people, and how much things were getting done that we've struggled with over the years that are getting done now that we struggled to get done before. I appreciate all that. Appreciate all the hard work that goes into that. And like the chief said earlier, it's the trust and the cooperation between everybody that goes into all that. And I appreciate all of that. Thank you. With that, we are going to retire to executive session, not to last longer than, what would you say, 15?
15.
And 15 minutes. And do we anticipate that we might?
Action.
No action. No action anticipated or expected out of that. So thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Let us know. We're live now? Okay, so we are going to reconvene our regular meeting and no action taken in the executive session. And so we will close the regular meeting at 19:50 hours.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.